Hey, what's up, everybody? Spabrog here, and I'm here to give you the H-Hour Weekly Community Update number 2. So what we've got rolling in the background is a comparison between quality. So on the left, I have the highest quality settings for H-Hour, and on the right, I got the lowest. Personally, I use the lowest settings when I capture for the most part, just because it's a lot smoother. It's better for the eye, and I just like smoother frame rate. I feel like it's better for gunfights. It's just better to see people. Overall, you can't go wrong with good frame rate. The game is very beautiful on highest quality. When I do play on highest quality, I take off shadows for sure, just because shadows just make your system run a little bit harder, and then you get like slower frame rate, and nobody wants that. So, but it's very possible to play it. The game's not optimized yet, so we'll see in the future. Hopefully I'll be able to run it at highest and stream with 60 frames per second. Let's hope so. So overall this week, the theme is bugs. We had a lot of bugs that were fixed. Apparently we had a lot of bugs. I didn't even like notice like half of them, to be honest. You're gonna hear me later where I'm just like, yeah, I didn't even know this existed. But yeah, with those bugs resolved, that's good because it shows that they're polishing the game up, the little things, so that's great. I know a lot of us wanted more content, but I know in the next 2 weeks we're going to get the new map and a bunch of new stuff. So I'm very excited about all that. Next off, with bugs comes more bugs, as they say. So there's two that are very big at the moment that are getting addressed, because in the old patch thread, they said that they're addressing it right now as we speak, and it was passed on to the developers. So the biggest one is your gun locks randomly when you're spraying, so that's not good off the bat. I'll be in a gunfight sometimes, and then my gun will just stop. You know, there's current remedies where you can like switch your fire rate and go back to, or just reload, and it'll work. Apparently it works. It's like that like on certain servers, and sometimes you don't get it. But still, that kind of what if factor is not good for the game right now, and a lot of people are voicing their opinions about it. There's another pretty big bug that has an easy fix, but it's still a nuisance. You spawn without any weapons. I don't know why it does, but all you have to do is delete your saves folder, which takes like 3 seconds, and then come back in the game, and I don't know, I never had a problem. I had it once, deleted it, boom, gone. So let's get into the patch now. So like I said, a lot of bugs. They added some stuff to factory. They addressed some wall clipping and weapon tuning stuff with a bunch of more bugs. So we'll start from the top. We'll start with some factory, okay? So factory got some cool little updates. You can shoot the lights now, all of them except for probably one. There's one in the switch room in the bottom floor where you can't shoot the flickering one. So flickering one's going to be there forever, I guess, for now. It gives it a little bit of like an ambiance, so I'm kind of happy about that. Let's see, so the next one, I'm about to get into a lot of bugs right now just for factory, and then I'm probably going to get into more bugs later. So remember, the theme of this week is bugs. So fix bug, nades kill through shipping containers. One thing I noticed when I used to rush up the middle is like, how did that nade kill me? I used to say it all the time. But I'm like, I'm just running up the middle. I get what I deserve. So I kind of like brushed it off, and I never tested it. And I guess they fixed it. You know, there was like no collision on one side. So whatever, it's fixed. I'm happy about that. Collision bug in shipping building offices. Apparently there was like, you were like stuck in the shipping building offices sometimes. It wasn't major, but they fixed it. Next one is physical material being glass on wood. So like there would be things that would resemble wood, and then you shoot it, and then they'll get like shattered. It looked like a shattering effect. So I guess the material, when they programmed it or whatever, was acting like glass when it should act like wood. But now it looks like wood, so that's good. They changed some smoke grenades. So the smoke grenade light adaptation, it lights properly now apparently. But that's cool. But one thing I kind of wanted was like, I wanted the smoke to come up faster, because the smokes come out pretty slow. It kind of messes up like your rush if you're trying to use them tactically, but whatever. I know they're going to look into it because everybody's complaining about that. What else? So mesh obstructing view was missing collision on factory. So there would be like certain views on the buildings that there was like no collision. It was weird. It still needs a lot of work apparently. I think I ran into it once. I'm not explaining this well, but I don't know. I've honestly never really seen this outside of that. So maybe they clipped, you know, they were like fixing that part. So that's it for bugs on factory. So they added more stuff to factory as well, outside of the lights and stuff. There's reflection boxes added to the tunnels now. It's subtle, you know, it doesn't really make a big difference, but it gives more depth, and you know, it gives you more of a feel when you're in the tunnels, like you're actually in a tunnel where, you know, the circuits and stuff are in, and it affects the whole map or whatever. There's power lines now connected to make sense, so that's pretty consistent among around the map, where you could see a lot of power lines. The paint room got paint jobs. I don't know which one's the paint room, but I did see. I saw a different floor, and I saw a room that was kind of painted, because before it was just like solid concrete or whatever. They added more lights to the building's exterior, so the building's exteriors look awesome now. They're really rugged. Like if you look at them, you'll see like they've been worn down. They're kind of like battle torn and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I like that. It makes it look a little bit rougher. It gives it some grittiness. So I'm really appreciative about that. And yeah, that's pretty much for factory. So for the next one is wall clipping. So they put another pass for wall clipping. So you can't shoot through walls and clip through them. It still needs work, they said, apparently, but I thought it was gone, but I saw one dude like demonstrating that you could still do it, and he was shooting through the wall, kind of. It's only on one spot on factory though, so I think they did a pretty good job so far, but they have to address it, you know, nobody wants that. And my favorite of the patch so far, the weapon tuning. Okay, so the weapon tuning, what they did was, after the first shot, your gun bounces. And I love this because I looked at some SOCOM videos and was like, this does look more like SOCOM. It feels more like SOCOM. Because in H-Hour, when you first like shot your first bullet, your gun would kind of like stay still. It would barely jump. So it didn't feel like, it just felt weird. Something was off, and I didn't even catch it until after the bounce. So it's a lot more consistent with SOCOM. It's very subtle, but it's an important addition. So next, my favorite. Oh, I love this one. So SMG tuning. I just gotta say right now, SMG tuning is perfect to me, at least. You know, others may beg to differ. But yeah, the SMG tuning is great. The damage over distance has been adjusted, so you can't clip somebody across the map as fast. And it's very hard because it feels like the accuracy at a distance is very off too. And so I'm glad to see that, because sometimes you'll get killed from like an MP5 SD from like across the map, and you have an AK-74 and you should win the gunfight. Like, it didn't make sense before, but yeah, it's great. So the good thing about it is, with that, you know, they fixed the long range battles, but up close the damage is still pretty good, but not to the point where it's like cheap. Like if I got in a gunfight with an MP5 and I had like a AK-74, I felt like I'm probably gonna lose this because he has a faster fire rate and all that. You know, the damage is the same, but the damage got lowered a little bit, and it comes down to skill now. I mean, it was always skill, but now there's more of that skill gap. You know, when you're in a gunfight between an SMG and an assault rifle. So I'm very happy to see that. So let's go on to the other fixes. So there's lots of bugs, so bear with me, okay? So this is everything that got fixed. So there was apparently binocular sniping. I think I kind of did this. I haven't really tested it though, but you could kind of zoom into your binoculars and then zoom out and then start shooting again, right? So I got a couple kills that way, so I guess that's out. I would have to test that more. There's no more reloading when you plant the bomb. So what that means is that before you could reload while you were planting, and you could run away like mid-plant. So I'm happy they took that out. I honestly think they're gonna add movement. Like if you're defusing, you can move mid diffuse and just finish your, like, stop your diffuse, because there's times when like you'll plant and then somebody comes in and you really can't do anything. You're just like a sitting duck, ready, waiting to get shot. So people just camp behind the wall and wait for you to plant. So I hope they took that out, in the future at least. There's no more dolphin sliding, I know, or dolphin diving, whatever. Dolphin sliding, I think. And so that what that means is like people would prone, then they'll stand, and then they'll jump, and it looks like they're sliding on somebody else's screen. And people were not fond of that. Really not fond of that. Next off, they fixed several sounds that wouldn't register and seemed out of sync. So that's very general. I know later I might say something about crawling and like how the syncing is good. So that's good. So just think of like you're stepping on a certain, trail, but the sound won't register right away. Like you'll hear the sound on the second step. That's pretty much what they meant. Next, they fixed several spots on Wolf Run that were soft, so you could shoot through some of these things. Apparently, maybe you could shoot through the roof. I don't know. There wasn't many, and I've never seen it, so I don't know. Maybe they fixed it. Like I said, there's a lot of bugs here that I'm going to talk about that I probably never experienced firsthand. They fixed blockage on stairs in Sismus. Okay, so what that means is that when you were going up certain stairs on Sismus, you'll like stop. There felt like it was like a collision box right there, and you couldn't move towards it. So I guess that's out. I have to test that more. I haven't really got to play that much because of work and school. So we'll see. So that's good. They took that out. Nobody wants any inconsistencies. They fixed some camera collision boxes on Coffin Building and walls in general. So in Coffin Building, you could kind of like peek outside without going outside. It was really cheap. And you could kind of just camp that Coffin Building hard. So that's good. They took that out. I mean, I abused it for fun because, it felt like I didn't have to risk anything. But that's gone. And yeah, the next one I have on deck right now is fixed standing on water. I have no idea what that means. Maybe standing on water just looked different from like previously. I have no idea. There was a bug with grenade arc positioning when grenade slots are switched. I don't know what that means. So when you I try to make sense out of this. It's like your grenade arc positioning is different when your grenade slots are switched. I have no clue. I've never seen this. I don't know. They fixed it though, so I guess I'll never have to worry about it again. So there was another bug with grenades where if you switch camera views, you lose grenades. Apparently it's still in it if you go into binoculars. Again, I've never seen this happen. I remember this happening like 2-3 months ago, but I thought it got fixed. Whatever. So the next one is for smokes. I talked about it earlier. They made it more visible apparently, but now they took away the smoke trail. So when you toss it, there'll be a little bit trail when it's traveling, but when it hits the ground, there's no trail of smoke of where it came from. So you can't be like, okay, he threw it from over there, he's over there. So I'm happy about that. You can use it more tactically, but it still needs a lot of work in my opinion. Let's see what else. So fixed bug where shot blocking is not in first person. So apparently with like the wall clipping or whatever, there was like they implemented this thing where if your muzzle's hitting the wall, that your crosshairs turn gray, and that wasn't happening before. Like you could kind of like first person and shoot over things even though your gun's like hitting the dumpster or whatever. So I guess they took that out. I actually saw this earlier when I was trying out some stuff, and I thought, oh, I didn't really think anything of it until I read it again. So okay, that's good. So no cheesy head glitching, if you want to use Call of Duty terms. But yeah, so another great thing from the patch that I like a lot is that they fixed jump and prone sound proximity. So right now it's at 25 meters radius, so people can't hear you unless you're that close. And the crawl sound, when you're crawling, the sound sync is great. Before, when you were crawling, it looked kind of like out of order. It's like, yeah, he's not moving his left arm, and I hear like his arm moving. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't in sync. So that's good. It's less sound whoring overall, so I'm really happy about that. And these two final bugs I see are they fix multiple guns dropping stemming from 2 times ammo drop, and fixed metal crate models. So for the fixed multiple guns dropping from 2 times ammo drop, I guess multiple guns were dropping if your gun had 2 times ammo. I've never seen it. Whatever is fixed, it's gone. I never have to think about it. And fixed metal crate models, I have no idea. Maybe they were too high, maybe too low, maybe their collision boxes were weird. Who knows? But yeah, let's go on to the weekly outlook now. I'm very excited to talk about the weekly outlook just because we have the name of our 4th map. Alright, so they gave us a little bit of a background about the map and everything, so we'll get into it. So the 4th map is called Temple. I like it nice and straightforward. It is a temple from the screenshots that we saw, so I don't think we could have expected anything more. So the setting is a terrace base inside some old ruins that include extensive tunnel networks and entry and egress positions. Using the tunnels to sneak around the enemy will help you with your assault. You can also take the direct approach for speed, but it's more dangerous and will expose you to enemy fire. Okay, so if we look at the old screenshots from the old video, you notice that there's like a big bridge that's open, so I guess that's a direct approach, but apparently there's tunnels. Russ talked about this map before, and he said if Abandoned was to have a daughter, this is it. And we have it right here at Temple. So every time a new map drops, they said they add a game mode. So the game mode now is Breach, which makes a lot of sense. So it says here the mission for SOF will be to sneak a supplied bomb into the terrorist stronghold and blow up an objective. Terrorists will defend the objective and prevent the SOF's attack. Temple will also see the introduction of the use of C4 to change up the environment by creating more paths. Equipment selection now becomes more strategic for players who must decide which items to equip. It will be particularly important for Temple to get to the objective in the quickest way possible. And they said if the community enjoys the addition of breachable points like these, we may also revisit some of the older maps at a later time to add them. So that's great to hear, because that means we can get more game modes for the maps that we know. So I'm very happy to actually know that and to talk about that. So there's a picture here that I'll put up in a second. Oh man, that looks like Abandoned. You know what I'm talking about, right in that corner. Then you get that tunnel. They're so sneaky. I love Russ. Shout outs to Russ for that, man. So let's continue on with the weekly outlook. So what you'll notice is that this week the developer team, will be working on the new map, which we talked about. They're going to be working on some more bug fixes and audio for factory. So what that means is they're going to go over with over the map with some reverb volume to help with the acoustics of the map. Their main objective is they want street audio not to penetrate to the tunnel. So if I'm in the tunnels, they don't want to hear upstairs, because that, you know, they're eliminating sound whoring like crazy. I think that, like, I don't think people are complaining about it, but they know it's going to be important in the future. But yeah, they want different reverb effects applied to the audio based on your surroundings. So if you're, in the city, tunnels, warehouse, it's different everywhere you go. So they're working on that. So that's great to hear. So nothing sounds the same everywhere else. So it'll give the game a little bit more color and a little bit more depth and a different ambiance. Right now, like I said, I'm gonna say every video, the game is still bare bones, but they're working a little bit at a time just to fix stuff. And yeah, a nice little update here is that they're going to be talking with Technicolor, who is also in charge of making the 4th map, Temple. They're going to talk about animation improvements with them this week. So hopefully we get news on that. Animations are still a priority, and they know this, and they're going to try to update us as much as possible. So for topics, what we're seeing is that it's kind of quiet around the forums a little bit. Not quiet, everybody's always talking, but it's talking about older stuff. So we're touching back on the older stuff, and I guess we're just waiting for the new map, because that's like the next big thing for us. So let's get into it. First, I'll just address the major bug. There's 2 major bugs at the moment. The first one is the gun stops shooting like mid-clip randomly. We don't know why it happens, and it's pretty whack because nobody wants to die just because their gun jams or whatever. It's stupid. I know they're fixing it now. Spaz Brown said that the developers are working on it ASAP. That's like their first priority, so I'm happy to hear that. There's another one with spawning without armory, and I talked about all these bugs earlier at the beginning of the video, but basically this spawning without armory is you come in and you have no gun or anything. It's just really weird, but it's easy to fix. You just delete your save folder and it never happens again. Well, it never happened again to me, but yeah, that's pretty much it for bugs. Otherwise, the game is still fun, man. I've actually seen more people play the other day. A lot of new people, so I'm happy to see that. People are coming back and saying, like, I played with a guy the other day, Sean Combs. He said, I haven't played this game in forever. I want to see if it's different. And then we see him get on. He says, oh, this game, the shooting's so much better, blah, blah, blah. And then he's on for 2 hours with me. So I'm happy to see that. It's pulling back people from before little by little. So I know there's people in the woodworks, just waiting, right? So we got the update with Factory. We can shoot the lights out. So there's more meta. Now everybody has that ritual when they start the round. They just shoot a light. It's cool. It feels like SOCOM. So I'm happy to see that. We got the new map. Like I said earlier in the Outlook, the new map name is Temple. We're gonna get Breach finally. We had C4 in the inventory the whole time. We were like, what is this? What is this C4 doing here? We can't even use it. And then it was just a little tease. We knew that Breach was coming back. So I'm happy to see that. It's called Temple at the moment, the map, but there's a thread in the feedback forums on what we would like to call it. I mean, I post some names like Forgotten. I forgot the other one. I think it was like Divination, whatever, Defender, something like that. And I'm happy to see that. It's cool that we could kind of like put, our input on the map name. Because I know for Factory, they might change the name for Factory, because right now it's just placeholder. So we'll see. I'm happy to see it. Yeah, so what else? The player numbers. Okay, so there's something people always wonder about H-Hour. And they're like, oh, the player numbers are so low, nobody plays the game. People play the game. They play it quite often, but they don't all play at the same time. And I'm gonna tell you some things that I've noticed why you don't see that many people on right now. Okay? So like around 2 o'clock, you'll see a handful of people on. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sorry. You'll see a handful of people on, right? Most of the people who played SOCOM are a little bit older, and those are the people who are going to play H-Hour. So they have school, they have jobs. Most of the time they get at 5 or 6. So you're not going to see anybody on before 5, possibly. You could get lucky, because usually I get games at 2, and then I could just play all day basically from there on out. After 6 o'clock, 6:30, people hop on and you'll get a full lobby for sure. For sure. Every night, full lobby, for at least 3-4 hours. At least. It starts kind of dying down around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. People got to wake up. But sometimes there'll be nights where people will be playing regardless. And on the weekends, it gets a little bit better. At night, there's always like at least a lobby and then another lobby. Maybe not, it won't be full, but sometimes it will be. Especially like if the patch releases, then you'll see like 2-3 lobbies at max for now. But one thing I noticed is that, okay, so the reason why there's not a lot of numbers, I mean, outside of that, the game's not done or whatever the issue is, there's still a lot of work to be done in the game. Like I'm always going to say for every time I make this video, there's always going to be a lot of work to be done. This is nowhere near finished, but for now, the game's fun. But what I noticed is that when people come on, right, and there's nobody in the lobby, nobody wants to sit in the lobby and wait. What I notice is that when I'm home and I'm doing my homework or typing or I'm just on the computer, I notice people log on, they go to H-Hour, it says so-and-so's playing H-Hour Worlds Elite. I'm like, alright, cool, I'll log on. I go, and they're gone. And this happens like to like 5 different people within like a 2-hour span. I'm like, come on, man. Just stay in the lobby for like 5 minutes. So I tested this out one day, and I sat in the lobby. I waited 5 minutes. One person comes in. I play 2 rounds. We have 2 more people come in, 4 rounds. Then we get like a 3v3 going for the whole map. And then it kind of stays at like 7 or 8. People come and go. Then we're good. So one of the issues is people don't want to stay in the lobby because they think nobody's coming. But nobody's coming because nobody's willing to stay in the beginning, which it's cool, you know. It's still early access. I'm sure that's going to change once the game's finished and people really want to get their hands on it. But yeah, the player numbers, I tell people, don't be scared about that, man. Like, the state that the game's in right now, it's fun, but it's not going to appeal to everybody right off the bat. But if you look every week at the improvements, you will notice that this game is really shaping up to be something. And yeah, we're gonna go the whole way. I'm happy to be part of the H-Hour community. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's one last thing. There's a feedback forum in the SOF Studio forums, and it's really great. We talk about everything. We talk about sound, we talk about grenades, we talk about animations, we talk about maps, why the maps are bad or like they're bugs, whatever. Shooting, sound, I think I said that. So many little things that everybody puts their input on. You should always have an opinion, man, because that's what's going to shape the game, and that's what's going to make it better. I'll probably link that down in the description below. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That was pretty long, but I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them. I'm always on my computer because I'm so busy with stuff, but I got you guys. Follow SOF Studios on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Twitter is twitter.com/MrSpab. That's MRSPAD. And Twitch is twitch.tv/spab_rog. And if you guys liked the video, don't forget to leave a like and a sub. Let's try to build this H-Hour community. I'm happy to see the future of this game, and I'm happy that you guys watched. Thanks again for watching, guys. Peace.